Hey guys, Sean Keeley, newsmagician.com here, and I apologize the Friday morning video bag became a Monday morning video bag this week. Why? I don't know. Who cares? Let's go. There's two ways you can go with this. I think we can look to the future. I think Michael Carter-Williams and Rakeem Christmas have got a lot of really good personality. They've got the rapport of coming in the freshman class together, and if we put them together, we can get 3 good years out of them, which is more than we got for Scoop and Chris or Scoop and Wes, which was just 1 year. But on the other hand, James Sutherland is a character, and I think he brings a lot to the table. I almost wonder if you go with the MC Dubs and James Sutherland show, which would be the MC Dubs and James show, or the James and MC Dubs show, and then you go with that for a year, and then you transition in Rack. The Mike and Rack show, that's got a nice sound to it. My immediate thought is no. I think certainly in football we'd be way worse off because it would have coincided with the end of the Pasqualoni era and the Greg Robinson era, which means as bad as you think the Greg Robinson era is, imagine how much worse it could have been if Florida State and Clemson and Virginia Tech and Miami and North Carolina and Maryland and Virginia and Georgia Tech were all on our schedule every year. It just would have been awful. No, and then basketball, I think it would have been a wash. It probably would have been a little bit better. I think overall the ACC has traditionally been a very top-heavy basketball conference. It's usually Duke, North Carolina, and somebody else, and then a bunch of mediocre teams that get way more credit than they deserve. But I think overall we probably would have been a little bit better off in basketball, and in lacrosse it would have been kind of crazy. Already we pretty much play all those teams anyway in the NCAA tournament in the regular season, so let's call it a wash in lacrosse. So overall, I think it's good we didn't go to the ACC back when we were supposed to. That's a good question. I don't know offhand how many games we usually win every year, but I feel like it's something like regular season, it's probably like 25, 26. So then you got that, you throw in Big East tournament, and this should be a pretty solid team next year with the NCAA tournament. So I'm going to say, yeah, I'm going to say Trish leaves as the all-time winningest player. I think overall we can probably get above 28 wins next year. Obviously, my question to your question is, can't we have both? But if you're going to say I have to choose one or the other, Nerlens Noel comes in and plays well, or Rakeem Christmas has a Fab Melo-like year or transition into a sophomore year, I got to go Nerlens. I'll take Rakeem Christmas regressing or staying the same for a year while Nerlens Noel is there, along with Coleman and Bay. So I'm going to go that way, but I hope both happen. The whole Nerlens Noel thing is something I've been going back and forth with as well, and I think ultimately he's worth it because you're talking about a guy who almost certainly is going to be a one and done no matter what happens. And the great thing about Jim Boeheim is Boeheim clearly has no problem benching a guy regardless of status. He benched Scoop Jardine a bunch of times as a senior. It's a case-by-case thing. So if Nerlens ends up not being kind of an ego guy and a me-first guy, Boeheim will adjust accordingly, and the worst thing that happens is Nerlens leaves after 1 year, which he was going to do anyway. So hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully if he does come to Syracuse, he's very Carmelo-esque. But either way, I think you roll the dice with it. I'm not sure I can really make this one Syracusey, but if you're just talking about last season, it's a no-brainer. I think Paul was running away was the best contestant. He was a nice guy and cooked his heart out, and in a ever-growing pool of Top Chef contestants and reality show contestants, that is kind of these archetype, stereotype, one-note kinds of people. Paul stood out, so he was my favorite. But if we're talking overall, Blaze. Absolutely Richard Blaze. He's awesome. So I took a look at those shades of orange, and immediately, if I can list my most hated shades of orange, Princeton orange, obviously, burnt orange, which is Texas's orange, terrible, and safety orange, which I'm assuming is like Clemson, Virginia Tech, Virginia, Miami kind of orange, being that's where you would go as a safety school. We're talking about favorite shades of orange. I like the idea of atomic tangerine. I don't. It just kind of sounds awesome. But at the end of the day, you got to go with orange peel. Obviously, it's the best shade of orange, and if you don't think so, you're a jerk.